Hey, how y'all doing today? Welcome back to our homestead. We are fertilizing our garlic, and this is probably the last time that we'll fertilize it. We have fertilized it when we first planted it with some nitrogen to get the green going, and then we fertilized it with bone meal and potash and a little bit of nitrogen. The bone meal and the potash, of course, helps for the bulb growth. So we've done this again just now. We put the bone meal and the potash, and I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of nitrogen on here to keep this going. And that's all we're going to put on. It is a commercial nitrogen, so it's a little heavier, so we don't want to put too much. And it just doesn't need a whole lot of nitrogen right now, but it will need a little bit. So we want to make sure it's got enough. And I'm starting to get garlic scapes. I've got to come through there and cut these off. That's from hard-neck garlic. Those are good. You can cut those up, put them in a stir fry, or season some of your dishes with it. It's got a mild garlic flavor. So we're going to come through here. I've got hard neck and soft neck mixed together, but the hard neck is the only one that has the scapes on it. And I've got several of them coming up in here in different places, so we'll come through there and clip those off. Now my onions, I'm going to do the same thing. I've already put the phosphorus and the potassium and the potash on here, so now I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of the nitrogen on it. And again, just very sparingly, and I've got some back in here behind the broccoli. And that's all we're going to do. Now the garlic will be ready somewhere around 1st to mid-July, and we'll get back with you on that when we start looking at that to see if it's ready. But it's got a little ways to go. But let's get those garlic scapes. Well, my mic fell off a while ago. I hope it didn't mess anything up. We're going to go through here and look for the scapes, and that's what they look like. They kind of curly. They've got a bulb. This is where the seeds are produced, right here. I'll show you that in just a second. We're going to gather a few of them right here, though. Get that weed out of here. That one too. There's one. They kind of bend over, and you can cut them right down to that leaf. Now there's a nice garlic scape. Now there's a garlic scape. If you look right down here, let's see if we can find it here. We'll cut it all the way down where this leaf comes out. We'll cut it just right above that. Now this is the scape, this round leaf, and we're going to cut it off just above this leaf right here. And there's our scape. And they do curl like that. That's normal. Let's go through here and look and see what we can find. We don't want to miss any because they are delicious. There's one right there. And since I've got them mixed in with the others, I've got to kind of search through there, and that may be one of the drawbacks of the way I did it, but that's all right. It's not going to be that difficult. Got a handful right there. Put that in a basket. There's one. Just have to trace it back down to the joint where that next leaf is and snip it off. This is not going to contribute to the plant at all. In fact, it's going to put the energy into this seed pod. And each plant usually produces one scape. If it's hardening. Yeah. There's an onion, we don't want that in there. That is one good thing about the hardneck. Now the hardneck is better in certain climates and the soft neck is better in certain climates. I'll put that on there because I forget which is which right now. But in my area, both of them do very well. And I can have both hard neck and soft neck. You may think these are hard to find, but they're really not. They really stand out from the plant. The color doesn't stand out, it's the same color as the plant, but just the way it's curled over and it's round and solid. It's not like a flat surface on a leaf. Not saying that I couldn't miss some in here. Cat, get out my garlic. I don't want to miss any because I don't want to miss out on the scapes to eat, but I also don't want to miss them because I don't want them to start producing seed and take away from the plant. Now there's all the scapes that I've got. Look at that. And I've got a whole bucket full of scapes. That's this little basket. Man, I'm excited about that. Those are going to be great. All right, let's see what else we can do. My kale is going good. I'm at the end of my romaine. It's really getting ready to bolt. Some over here already has, if you can see that. It's already bolting. My spinach is about to bolt. So I've got to do something with that pretty soon. My onions that we just fertilized, they're doing well. And I've got some Brussels sprouts in here and some kale at the back end over there. I don't know if you can see it. Now, this is what I'm excited about right here. Look at that. Look at that head of broccoli. This is the first time ever that I have been able to grow broccoli in the spring. And it's not really due to anything I did. It was just the weather cooperated. You have to have the temperature below 80 most days. Now I did get above 80 for a couple of days and I was worried that it was going to bolt, but it didn't. And then, but this spring has been fairly cool because we usually have several days in a row at 80 degrees by this time of year and late May. This is the last week of May. But Man, I'm excited about that. Look at that. Man, that is great. Now, I'm going to plant it again in the fall, and I think in the fall I'll have better luck. I've never planted it in the fall before, but I think it will be better because it can survive the cold weather. The hot weather is what's going to hurt that and make it bolt. But I've got several now. That one is getting ready to bolt, so we'll have to get the little small spears off of that. I've got some others over here. Look at this. Nice, very nice head of broccoli there. One right there. One back over here. Yes. There's some more. There's another one. There's another one. One right up there. That's great. Now, basil is going to flower. Some of this I'm going to let go to seed and save the seeds. But I'm going to come through there and trim some of that off probably today and freeze dry some of that, some of the seed heads and all. But some of the seed heads I'm going to let grow, and then when they starting to dry, I'll put a bag or something over to save those seeds. The carrots, back up here, the carrots are doing really well. I've just got a small area of carrots. Again, we'll redo those this fall. And there's my celery. It's doing pretty good. And this is the second year I've grown celery, so I'm excited that it's doing well. Now where we're at it, let's look down through there. We've got some tomato plants planted. These are the Cherokee purples, and I can plant them through the end of June, but I'd like to get them out and get them started. And this is the side we're going to do with the Florida weave on it. I've got to get that done pretty soon because they're starting to lean over. Cherokee purples, and these are the bush beans jade for green beans. They're doing well. I've got some others planted. I just planted them with the tomatoes and the peppers to see how that works. I think it'll work fine. There's some of the pepper plants. I've even got a jalapeno already. And I'm going to take that off there because it really doesn't need to be there, but you can kind of see it down in there. But there's the row. I'm still not finished. Peppers and tomatoes. Now down at the other end, the far end, I'm going to grow my German pinks. Here's my Brussels sprouts. You can kind of see that they're starting to come on here. Right here. Brussels sprouts, so far I have not had any luck at. Again, if I tried it in the fall, I think I would do better. I'm over here to my cabbage. Got some grass kind of encroaching here. I've got some purple cabbage planted here, and it's doing fairly well. Got a little bug bites on there. That'll be all right. Got a few onions over here, and those are Liam's onions. My dill is going to seed. But it's still good. There's my basil. My asparagus is kind of falling. My asparagus is kind of falling over on it, but that's my basil. That's my sage, and it's withered up a little. I don't know why. I gotta pick some of those sage leaves though. And I've got some oregano. I don't know if you can see it right down in there. Now that's my asparagus. It's coming up and flowering, going to seed, and that's what it does. And it's just hard for me to keep this clear of grass and weeds because you can't cover it up with anything that it can't come through. You'll choke it out. But I've seen this stuff poke through wet cardboard before. The asparagus to sprout. Cilantro has gone to seed. Got some dill right there. I've got a lot of grass in here. I've got some thyme down in here. You see it right there. There's the thyme. Some mint, some oregano. No, that's oregano. Lemon balm. This broccoli is. Rabbits. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. That is. I'm excited about that. Ah. They're still good. And another one. A bunch, little bouquet of broccoli. There's 3 right there. All right. We're gonna harvest a little bit of our spinach here. We're gonna freeze dry it and make a powder out of it. This very end part we're not going to. We'll give that to the rabbits. If you're harvesting to eat this fresh or put it up to eat it maybe cooked later, you want to make sure you get your tender leaves. But since I'm freeze drying it and I'm going to make a powder out of it, it really doesn't matter. The flavor is what matters, and we don't want the seed head. And this is already going to be just probably a little bit bitter right now, but it'll be all right for what we're doing. Take this off and wash it real good, blanch it slightly, and then freeze dry it. I'm going to leave a little of it out here just so we can continue to pick some of it and eat it with salads. I think some of this will be all right for that. All right, we got a nice little bunch here. We'll move on to something else. Let me go put this up. Now we're going to get some kale. We got our basket of kale here. Probably strip the leaves off the stems before we use them. They'll probably freeze dry okay, but Probably be better without those stems. I don't know. We may try a few stems, see what happens. All right, I'm glad you could join us today, and excited about the broccoli we got. I hope your broccoli is doing great, and if it's doing better than mine, that's even better. But that's what we ended up with today. I've overloaded my basket. My basket runneth over. Isn't that great? And I'm excited about that. Anyway, we appreciate you stopping by our homestead. Y'all have a great day. And remember to count your blessings every day. And I truly believe you'll find you're blessed far beyond measure. I know that I am. God bless. Bye.